Thank you.
Good morning. This is Judge Alyssa Perez presiding over the 210th District Court Civil Docket for March 2nd, 2022. All matters being heard today are being heard in accordance with all emergency orders and directives. Regarding COVID-19, in addition to that, we are streaming all matters live via YouTube for public viewing. Thank you very much for your patience this morning. We're taking a little bit of administrative things that we had to handle ahead of time. So let's go ahead and get started. I think Mr. Serrano needed to go first. There he is.
Yes, Judge.
Thank you, Your Honor.
It's the bottom of page 3.
Okay.
It's cause number 2021 DCB 0749. Jorge Rivera versus Arturo Garcia Medina. Announcement of counsel, please.
Victor Serrano, on behalf of the plaintiff, Your Honor, ready to proceed.
Good morning, Your Honor. Chris Estrada on behalf of the defendant, ready to proceed.
Okay, and I have a notation here. Might file a non-suit indicated at the last setting. Where are we, gentlemen?
Judge, I consulted with my client and he still hasn't given back an answer to me. So I'm hoping we can do it within the next couple of weeks. If so, I will let the court know immediately.
Let me see what we have. My system is loading up. You know, we have a setting docket call March 30th. So yeah,
Yes.
he should have an answer before then.
I hope so,
Okay.
Judge.
All right,
Okay.
let us know. We'll see you on the 30th. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you,
Mr.
Judge.
Estrada, anything?
Nothing, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
May I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes, sir. Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
gentlemen. Who's next,
Thank
Tree?
you.
Okay, Judge, on page 1, 3655, I just need to know who is here for the plaintiff counsel.
Your Honor, this is Nicole Barty for Specialized Loan Servicing.
Okay, give me 1 second.
LLC.
Let me call the case. Cause number 2020 DCV 3655, Specialized Loan Servicing LLC versus Irene Armendariz Chavez et al. Announcement of counsel, please.
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. Nicole Barty for the plaintiff.
Morning.
Your Honor, Hector A. Beltran, appointed as attorney ad litem for the defendants who've been served by publication.
And who are those defendants?
Your
Judge,
Honor,
yeah, go
if
ahead,
I may.
Nicole, that's fine.
Sure. It's Irina Chavez and Frank Chavez and the unknown heirs of Ruben Chavez.
Okay.
I concur.
Your Honor, we were just substituted in as counsel of record at the end of last month on this one. Or middle of last month, I should say.
Noting lifting a state bankruptcy. Okay, so we're just here for a status conference. Do we have any kind of update? What are we doing?
As I understand, Your Honor, all of the known heirs have been served. Publication is complete, and Mr. Beltran was appointed as the attorney ad litem to represent those defendants. We've sent him all the information we have, including any research documentation the prior firm had. So we're just pending his report to move forward.
Mr. Beltran, you need some time on this?
I do, Judge. I think I was originally appointed back in January, and I looked at it, and I guess I did receive some notice, and it fell through the cracks. I did not receive anything from any of the parties in the case. And so I did receive yesterday the full slate of information that Ms. Barty just described. I've not had an opportunity to research anything on Irene Armendariz Chavez or the other defendants served by publication. So yes, I do need some time. I believe I should probably file an answer on their behalf just to protect the status quo. And I will do that immediately. It'll probably just be a general denial at this point, and then we'll move forward. Judge, if I can have 45, 60 days, I think.
I was thinking 60, so it sounds like we're like-minded there. Let's go with 60 days. Let's mute whoever that is. Okay, let's go with 60 days. If you need to come back sooner than that for whatever reason, please email us with a request for hearing for whatever might come up. But let's go with 60 days. That sounds like we don't need to rush that necessarily. Sounds like there's some work to be done there. So that puts us at, let's go for May 11th. May 11th at 10 a.m.
Judge, will that be a final hearing or will that be another status setting?
No, I'm going to do a status. I'm
Okay.
going to do a status. If we're at a point then where we can set up something different, we will.
Okay, sounds
Okay.
great.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you both. Y'all, if you don't have anything else, y'all are excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Take care.
Thank you, Nicole.
Who's next, Chewy?
Okay, Judge, 3824, bottom of page 1. Okay, it's cause number 2021 DCV 3824. Monica Renee Rivera et al. Versus Farmers Texas County Mutual Insurance Company et al. Announcement of council, please.
Your Honor, Jaime Alvarado on behalf of the plaintiffs, ready?
And Raymond Baez on behalf of the defendants and for Lynn Brooks, Your Honor, ready.
Hey, we're set for a status hearing. It looks like we had a scheduling conference back in December. Were we not looking at getting our trial track set up? Where are we?
Your Honor, if I can briefly address the issue at the last hearing.
Sure.
There's a companion case out of County Court 3, a drum shop case that was filed. And at the time that the friendly suit was filed, we really didn't anticipate that that was going to generate any funds for the minor. It was set for a default judgment. Since then, that case has matured and we've determined that there's an insurance policy that in the amount of $100,000, which we're hoping that the court would give us some additional time so we can maximize the minors' investment opportunities and the court costs. So again, we would be asking if the court would allow us an extension to see if we're going to be able to proceed with that policy.
What kind of extension? How long?
Your Honor, if we could have 60 days, there's a time star demand that it runs this month. So we'll know at that point if what's going to be tendered or if that's going to proceed on to trial, and we can come back to the court and finalize this matter.
Okay. So we'll come back on May 4th. Mr. Baeza, you're good with that?
Yes, Your Honor, that works for us.
Okay. All right. Then we'll see you at another status on May 4th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your
very
Honor.
much,
Excuse.
gentlemen. Yes, sir. Take care.
Thank you.
Who's next, Chewy?
Okay, Judge, page 2.
Go ahead.
It's cause number 2016 DCV 3399. Gloria Dominguez et al. Versus Oscar R. Quesada, MD et al. Announcement of council, please.
Al Melendez on behalf of the Miriam Dominguez family.
Bill Wilson on behalf of Dr. Nguyen.
Keith Myers for Dr. DeLuca.
Noel Gaddis for Dr. Quesada.
Righty, we're here at a final status conference. Gentlemen, we have a backup jury trial from April 29th. Where are we on this one?
Judge, we just finished the last deposition, and so we're posturing to have mediation. We're at a good time to do mediation after doing all the experts. If we don't settle the case, I think there's some pending objections to qualifications of experts. There may be some Darber motions. It's a complicated medical case, which involves some disputed issues as far as some science involved. And what we're missing is just the mediation. I'm not sure we have consent from all the doctors. I know that there's the possibility of settling with one, perhaps. Normally, Judge, we like Judge Villa to mediate this type of case. He's very familiar with the medical side of it, and I've had great success. Unfortunately, he's not available before trial, so we'll have to look for another mediator. And I think that's, at least from my perspective, that's where we are.
Are you all in agreement on that mediator? And is it just the timetable that is not workable, or what are we talking about on the mediation?
We're agreeable to that mediator. Dr. Nguyen.
in terms of the jury, the trial date, what I can tell you is I don't actually have panels for that date. So that would be something that I needed to discuss with you all today anyway. Again, I don't know between now and April 29th if we still fall under the same COVID protocol, but I have to operate on the idea that we are. And so I have to give you dates where we actually have panels. I continue to request those. So offhand, I'm not going to push you up any sooner. I would have first available would be May 19th and 20th. But I'm flexible if it will help you all maybe fit in mediation if it is with Judge Villa. I have other dates if that's workable. I can work with July 14th, 15th, or August 11th and 12th. Again, that is all under the COVID protocol. But I would need you all to agree to that. I guess what I'm hearing is we don't actually have a date scheduled for mediation. Is that right?
Correct, Your Honor. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you all, I'm happy to leave it as is right now with those 3 dates out there. Technically, I mean, per the scheduling order, the deadline would be, I guess, the 22nd of March to get that scheduled. If you could get it scheduled before the docket call date, which would we could use as a final civil pretrial, that's April 27th. I don't know if you recall the Judge Villa's availability. Is that something that's workable going into August? I mean, April?
No, Your Honor, he's not available until, it seems like the best time is July. I think I saw him available in June, but that's a horrible date. Let's see, let me look, because I have his calendar in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
So the first date that he seems to be available, Your Honor, is the last week of, or the second to the last week of June, and then starting in July, that's when he's accessible.
So for now, I'm going to leave the settings as they are, but know that I don't have panels. Again, if we don't, I mean, it doesn't sound like you're going to be able to fix the mediation before then, set the mediation before then, but know that those are the backup dates for this trial. And getting the mediation done. I mean, I guess we could use the August trial date. Maybe we should just set that now. Are you all good with the August trial date, 11th and 12th?
Yeah, I think so.
Your Honor, I have two trials that week, and I'm just coming off vacation that week. I just had a case reset that week in the 120th. The problem with this case, and we certainly are deferential to the court schedule and the protocols we're still under. This is a 4-party medical malpractice case. We all have out-of-town experts. We're going to have, to have separation of the parties and witnesses if we're still under the protocol. So it's really, I'm sensitive to the age of this case, but we really need to target a special setting in this case that we can all, that the court and the parties and the experts can all rely on. Because of floating backup dates, I think we're going to run into the same problems we have now.
Mm-hmm. Let me look at something. And I may, in terms of that August date, I may have something already specially set because there's a reason I have panels that day. I don't think it was just a random date that I selected. Well, let me see. There's a couple. There's a criminal case, but it's not specially set.
And then, Your Honor, I didn't know how to work that in terms of other cases that are already set during that week. Do the courts talk to each other so that we can choose? We don't, because I've already got 2 trials set, which is okay. I just wanted to, that way I can coordinate with the other courts.
So this is my difficulty and kind of, I guess, everybody's frustration is that, and let me look at the actual calendar so I don't misspeak, because now we are operating with 2 jury selection venues, which are Commissioners Court and Jury Hall. Oh, great. It's not letting me access it. Perfect. Chewy, are you able to see the master calendar?
Let me check. Judge.
So that's what I was going to say, Mr. Myers reference the overlapping 120th setting. My understanding is the 210th is first in terms of having the jury panels for the 11th and 12th. So unless the 120th has jury hall, we're the court getting the jury panels.
Judge, what date?
Those 2 days for August, when we requested August 11th and 12th. I don't know why, Chewy, I can't see the court master calendar now.
Yes, let me double check that. I could see it, Judge.
Mhm. And of course, okay, there's that. But then there's the possibility that we won't have any COVID protocol anymore in August, and everybody will have trial settings and we'll have multiple panels and it'll be back to quasi-normal.
Your mouth to God's ears, Your Honor.
I wish. I want to shake this mentality and have, it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating.
Okay, Judge, it does show our court on the 14th and 15th of August.
I thought we were the 11th and 12th, Chewy. Are you looking at August?
Let me, you know what, Judge, that's, okay, I'm sorry, that's July. And then
July.
they haven't made the notation yet for August.
We did get a confirmation from, so there's nothing on August 11th and 12th for any court?
On the calendar, it doesn't indicate, Judge, but we did get the, that we have been approved for August 11th and 12th. As per Mr. Cocaro.
Yeah. Yes. So that's all the uncertainty that I'm dealing with. So I hear you, Mr. Myers. I know exactly what you're saying. I just don't know how else to tell you. I'm looking at my court calendar, not the master calendar,
Yes,
and I only have two jury trials on those days. Let me go back.
Judge,
And so I can specially set it if I don't know what would be the best thing to do here. I don't know if you all want to get your mediation scheduled and set a trial date after that. How would you all?
we could do that, Your Honor. If we could get together on a mediation date and also a trial date that works for everybody, and then come back to the court with that, if that would be all right with you.
That'll work for me. And that way I can hopefully get a little more confirmation on the jury panels for August, and maybe I can make a further request, offer you guys some other options if we're going to be in that
Thank you, Your Honor.
area.
Sounds good.
So we'll keep our settings for now. See what you all can confirm for a mediation. Just know that current trial setting is not, it's not going to work.
Okay, so I can call off my expert that week for the April 29th setting.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right. Anyone else?
So,
No? All righty. Thank you so much. My
Thank you, Your Honor.
apologies for all that. I
Thank you.
know it's convoluted.
if you would stand by a minute, Mr. Melendez, I'll get to you, your second case.
Okay, Chewy, go ahead.
Okay, Judge, page 5, 3021.
Okay.
It's cause number 2019 DCV 3021. Inez Rodriguez versus All Fence Supplies LLC et al. Announcement of council, please.
Keith Myers for the defendant, Your Honor.
Should be Joseph Shelley.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I thought you were looking for Mr. Melendez's second case, and I quit paying attention. I didn't realize you were going to get to Mr. Myers.
Okay, go ahead. So we're here for a final status conference. Jury trial 422. Where are we on this one?
Mr. Kennedy and I had agreed to pass that setting, Your Honor. There's some additional depositions he wants to take. We need to reconvene the mediation in that case. So we would ask the court's indulgence in pushing that trial setting. Joseph, Joe, did you confirm that with James? I don't want to misrepresent anything, but that was our last conversation.
Yes, and that's what Mr. Kennedy told me regarding this case, is that we were in agreement with what Mr. Myers just stated on moving the trial date.
And what are we looking at in terms of a timetable?
Realistically, I'd probably say like into the summer, fall, just to make sure we can get all those depositions done in time. Because I know it's somewhat confusing, because I think the majority of the depositions are for the purpose of identifying a specific employee of Mr. Myers' client. So hopefully it doesn't become difficult, but my understanding of the case is that's where we're at, is identifying that employee.
Can we go as far out as November 4th?
That would be fine, Your Honor.
Okay, that's what it's going to be. Do you all need, I don't want to have to bring you all back a whole lot. We have a final civil pretrial setting docket call. I want to go ahead and cancel those, put the final civil pretrial for, let's do September 28th. And then just go to our docket call on November 2nd. Trial date of November 4th.
Yes, ma'am.
If we have anything, or if you all have anything requires a hearing in the interim, please let us know.
Will do,
Thank
Your
you,
Honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, gentlemen. Who's next?
Your Honor, I think I have one more with you too.
That one's
Okay.
next, sir.
Okay.
Okay, top of page 4, Judge.
Mm-hmm.
Cause number 2019 DCB 0465, Betty Ann Lechuga versus Angelica Vargas Gonzalez et al. Announcement to council, please.
Joseph Shelley on behalf of the plaintiff.
And good morning, Judge. Nathaniel Pavey for defendants Gonzalez and Ludivida Medrano.
Okay. 1 second. All righty. Final civil pretrial. This is my trial case, right?
Yes,
This
Your
is the
Honor.
case that we've been trying for Mr. Shelley. Okay.
We've been close on this one for a while, Judge.
I know you have, and you all have been so understanding.
We're trying to get it to mediation again. We've had some difficulties with our mediators just getting it scheduled, and it sounds like that seems to be the pattern with other council in town. That is our fault. We need to get this one mediated again. I know that between Mr. Shelley and I, we've circulated dates and tried to squeeze it in with some of the mediators, but full confession, I'm going to fall on the sword on this one. It is not mediated for you.
Yes, Your Honor, and I'll apologize on that as well. We did get the last deposition we needed done in this case, and I believe I may be able to just get this accomplished just with a phone call. Me and Mr. Peavy may be able to just talk this one and work it out. But either way, I think we're ready for trial if we have to go.
So you all are set for the 17th and 18th, and I'll tell you from my perspective, if you're telling me you still need to mediate, you certainly don't have to go, because my 17th and 18th trials are really, we're really booked, and we're pretty much overbooked for those panels. And so what are you telling me? Scheduling, realistically for mediation, what kind of time do you need?
The mediators will be pretty full. I think we could probably get some dates within about 45 days. Does that sound about the market rate currently, Mr. Shelley?
I think that we could probably get one in 45 days. I'd hope so. I'm sure we can get a mediator to mediate this case in the next 45 days, Your Honor.
Okay, so I am going to put you all for trial in July 14th and 15th. Okay.
July 14, 15.
Yes, sir. That is going to put us at a final civil pretrial. I tell you those because I think you all know I have those 4 panels over the course of 2 days. That's why it's those 2 days. So for civil, that means we have our docket call of the 13th, which means that, let me go back to June. We'll do our final civil pretrial June 29th. So that'll make the mediation deadline June 28th. That you might be able to squeak in right in that. I don't know who you all are mediating with, but it sounds like all these folks are pretty busy and there's a window in June somewhere for some people. So
I can represent. I've got a mediation with Mitch Moss this afternoon, and I can speak in about his calendar and get some dates from him today, and then I can circulate with Mr. Shelley.
okay, guys, do what you can.
I'll make this mediation work on one of those dates.
Famous last words. All right, sounds good. We have dates. So let's just cancel, Chris, the 17th and the 18th. You were on my list of the handful of trials that are actually having to go on those dates. So it actually worked well for the court. Thank you, guys. Good luck on that. Get it scheduled and we'll see you on those dates. I don't need to see you anytime before that unless you all need to come in, okay?
All right, awesome. Thank you, Your Honor.
Take care, guys.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Who's next, Chewy?
Okay, Judge, following case 3028.
Go ahead.
It's cause number 2021 DCV 3028. Rosa Maria Saucedo de Alonso et al. Versus Fifth Floor Freight LLC et al. Announcement of council, please.
This is Matt Greenberg for the Alonso family.
Norman Snyder for Fifth Floor Freight.
Sean Page for Detmar defendant.
Okay, I feel like we're missing.
Your Honor,
Yeah.
Nick Benya, attorney for Claudia Guzman.
Okay.
And let's see. And Mr. Forbes was unable to attend today's hearing, but he never submitted a motion or.
Okay. Okay, and so this was our 2-week out status that I'd asked after the motion to transfer venue. I did review everything, and we had an extended hearing, I think, well, rightfully so, on the motion to transfer venue. I did deny the defendant's motions to transfer venue. I had received a proposed order, and it should be filed. It's filed as of this morning, so it is there in Odyssey. There are no future settings, so I need to know how you all would like to proceed at this point.
Your Honor, this is Norman
I think
Snyder.
that this was kind of a.
Let's go one at a
this
time,
was
and I
kind of a
think,
threshold issue, Your Honor.
right. Sorry, I thought Mr. Snyder was first, but go
Okay,
ahead.
this is Matt Greenberg.
Mhm.
No, that's all right. I was just saying that, I think this was kind of a threshold issue where people were not really wanting to proceed with the case until this issue was resolved.
Mhm.
So, I mean, we're at the outset, the early stages of it. We're happy to, pick up discovery and go at this point, but not much has happened on the case.
Judge, this is Norm Snyder. I don't know if you were asking about whether or not we need a docket control order or something like that. But if that's the case, then I think Mr. Greenberg's correct. I think everybody was kind of holding their breath until the court ruled on the motions to transfer venue. Now that that's been resolved, I think we can proceed with our written discovery. Following that, engage in our deposition discovery, and to the extent that the court wants a docket control order or scheduling order now, then I think council can confer about that and see if we can agree on deadlines and so forth. And if not, we can come back to the court and ask for some guidance from you about that.
So this is, and that's, sometimes you all will tell me, Judge, give us 30 days. We want to go discuss some things, come back, and we'll hold off on a scheduling order. Sometimes you want to just get started. I'm happy to go ahead and just get you all started with our scheduling order, give you a proposed trial date. Normally, I'll say a year out, use that, send you all the proposed scheduling order, circulate it, have you all agree on a mediator, and go from there. I don't know that a year out is realistic. And even if it wasn't your case with COVID and everything, I don't think it's realistic. So I will actually just ask you all kind of informally what you think is as best of a realistic timetable, and you're not going to shock me, believe me, whatever you tell me, you're not going to shock me. If you tell me the end of 2023, it really isn't going to shock me.
Your Honor, this is Sean Page. How are you?
I'm all right.
One of the things that we do have to determine in this case is the proper individual that will be representing the estate. There is a pending probate matter, Your Honor. I don't know whether I need to file a motion to abate while we go through the case to determine who is actually going to be appointed as the representative of the estate of Mrs. Guzman, so that the claims, all the cross claims and all that can go forward. It may be, Judge, it may be that the probate court issues an order, or it may already have, as far as I know, as to who that representative is going to be. One of the things I think the parties, we ought to do, all the attorneys, including Mr. Forbes, is we need to determine the status of that probate matter and when we will actually get an order. Otherwise, Judge, we're not going to know who a necessary party is in the case. So I'm a little bit concerned about if we go quickly on this case, whether we're going to run into that problem, and nobody wants to try a case or go through the whole process and find out we don't have the right representative. So that's kind of one of the things from my end. Then that's the next step that we need to talk about amongst all the attorneys, Judge.
Judge, this is Norm Snyder. I may be able to speak to that. I know that my paralegal checked with the probate court in El Paso as late as last week about the status of the probate matter. And as of last week, no one had been officially appointed by the probate court as the administrator or the administratrix of Mr. Uresti's estate. So that is still pending right now, and I don't know when that will be resolved. I know that the probate matter has been pending since September of 2021. We have competing claims by Edith Erickson, who is an intervener in this case, to be appointed the administratrix, and then Mrs. Guzman, who is Mr. Uresti's widow. She has also applied to be appointed as the administratrix. How and when that will sort itself out, I have no idea. But to your point, I think that it would be unrealistic to think that if we had a trial setting in the first quarter of 2023, that's going to work, because we've got multiple plaintiffs in this case. We've got multiple defendants. I can envision any number of fact witness depositions that are going to need to be completed. And then, of course, each of the parties, plaintiffs and defendants, are likely to have their own respective expert witnesses. So I think fall of 2023 is about as realistic as we can get at the moment.
Yep. I think I'm right there with you, Mr. Snyder, Mr. Greenberg, Mr. Pena.
Yeah, and I think, Judge, it might be that we have I'm sorry, Matt, you go. I'm sorry, Matt.
No, that's all right. I mean, I don't think we need to wait that long. If you look under the probate code, Your Honor, there's only one person that is first in line to be the personal representative. So as soon as the court can make that decision, it's first on the statute, it's Ms. Guzman. So once that's done, and I think that's almost a pro forma thing, then we're going to be able to get going. I think, May 2023 is a reasonable time frame. I don't want to push this late into October, November of next year. I just don't think that the probate court matter is going to take that long. I don't really think it actually, either way, it doesn't really matter to get to the merits of this case. So I'd ask, we can give it a little bit more time, push it over a year, but I think May is a more realistic timeframe.
I'm not solely considering the underlying, I guess, facts or circumstances of the case, Mr. Greenberg, as much as I'm also considering what the court's kind of case management is. Because ultimately, I could say I'll set you all a year out. I mean, in pre-COVID time, that was standard. Unfortunately, the way I can get to my jury trials is not standard anymore. And so I certainly don't want to be in a position like I am right now, as you probably have been hearing with the cases that have gone before you all today. It's a matter of just juggling and having to reset. And I really am quite frustrated. I can only imagine how frustrated I'm going to be in 2023 trying to juggle. And it's just not realistic. So I'm not trying to say, well, I'm pushing you so far back in 2023, but I think certainly early fall, late summer, August, September is probably where I am 2023 with you all. I'm happy.
Okay.
What I will do is, and so no, Mr. Greenberg, I think there is a certain element, like I would already put you all at a year out, but I think realistically, I'm going to have to, if we're really going to get there, you all are going to have to be specially set on your own little 2-week window, early fall, and I'm going to have to just work around you all if you all are going to be ready at that. So, Let me look at the calendar. Hopefully it's pretty open then. Let's go with September 15th, 2023, with a docket call on September 13th. I'll just ask, does anybody know offhand of any conflict in 2023?
Well, my wife was probably going to argue that I might not be around in the next year and a half. She'll probably kill me by then. But other than that,
I'll say that.
I should be there. I think, Judge, I did want on the status conference to alert all the parties that I think the mechanism might be a motion to show authority and then a motion to abate. And I think that's what might be how we get to where we need to go with that last necessary party.
Okay. Well, as we get this started, we're going to send, this is how we operate. I am going to send you all a scheduling order. Like I said, you circulate, get it back to us within 2 weeks. There's going to be an entry of that scheduling order, a setting for that within 2 weeks. If you all have it completed, signed off on by everyone, return to us, you don't have to come back then, and then we will just have our normal settings. If you have something that needs to be heard outside of those normal settings, you file your motion, email it to the court, request your hearing, and we get you set either at one of those settings or sooner if you need it sooner. Okay. I also, if for whatever reason, if you all are in agreement to create a scheduling order that is better tailored, better suited to your case, I am open if you all want to create one that is, substantially, covers everything that is in the court scheduling order. I'm open to that as well, because I know there's things that I think are a little more particular. There's things that might be a little bit better suited to your case. So I'll leave that up to you, but in any event, I will send you all the court scheduling order. Please include there if you all are in agreement on a mediator. If not, the court will appoint one. Okay. How's that sound? Okay, so you will see you will all see a setting in 2 weeks to return the scheduling order. The question always is, do we have to show up? You don't have to show up as long as we have a completed scheduling order. So please don't inundate the court with calls about if you have to. If we have it, we'll see you at the next setting, okay?
Thank you very much.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Your
Thank you, Your
Honor.
Honor.
Thank you. Okay. Who's next, Chewy?
Okay, Judge, page 4, 1827, second from the bottom.
Go ahead.
It's cause number 2021 DCV 1827, Celeste Varela versus Bayram. Announcement of council, please.
Alejandro Acosta for the plaintiff.
You're muted, sir.
Mr. Mounts, you're muted. Sorry, I wasn't looking.
Good morning, Your Honor. Jim Mounts on behalf of defendant.
Good morning. We're here for a final status conference. We have a jury trial set for April 29th. And you all look, are you ready to go to trial? You all look like you're ready to go to trial.
We are settled, Your Honor.
Hey, good, because I don't have a jury panel.
We're working out some final, working on the release and dismissal documents. So we'll get that filed with the court hopefully in the next 30 days or so, get this wrapped up.
Okay, so we're going to cancel. I have a final civil pretrial on March 23rd. We're going to cancel that. I'm going to leave the docket call kind of as my cutoff date to check in with you all if we haven't received that paperwork. Does that sound good?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Mounts?
Thank you, Your Honor. That's
Thank you
fine.
very much. Appreciate your efforts. Chris, I'm sorry, I keep saying Chris. I guess I mean Esteban. Is Esteban here? Sorry, Esteban.
Yes, I'm here.
I'm sorry, Esteban. Can you cancel the March 23rd and that April 27th? Change that to a status conference, please.
Okay. I got it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Who's next, Tree? Mr. Melendez is still here.
Want to take care of him and Ms. Smith are here, Judge, page 5, 3345.
Okay.
Okay, it's cause number 2017 DCV 3345, Montserrat G. Pizarro et al. Versus Ali Mohammed Nasir, MD. Announcement of council, please.
Al Melendez on behalf of the plaintiff, Your Honor.
Sunny Smith on behalf of the defendants.
Okay, status conference. Please give me an update.
This is a case that's settled, Your Honor. Right now, it's in the probate court. He's been appointed as dependent administrator. There was a delay in getting everything done in the probate court simply because she died without, of course, a will. And then she had heirs that were from a previous marriage or a previous relationship. And then one of the heirs was missing. I think he's going to be declared dead. We just were able to talk to the heir of the deceased child. And Ms. Smith and I have been trying to figure out how can we get the case off your docket. And the best way, I think, is, and she had the right idea, is we're going to let it flow from the probate court, which will approve the settlement, which they have in theory. We just need to have the allocation. I'm very, very careful about this case because there's liens, contractors out there that are making liens in excess of what the settlement is, but the case has been settled. And so I have to, I submitted those to the probate court so that they can eventually make all the decisions as far as how it's going to be allocated, if that works, Your Honor.
And how soon do we anticipate that's going to happen?
Well, in fact, I reached out to the court and they want me to file an accounting, which I presented to the court already to see an accounting, which includes the liens and everything else to see. And then I'm hoping that it should be within the next, I'm just thinking out loud, I would expect them to come back tell me that it's okay and then get a hearing set if it's necessary. I've already had a hearing and they just wanted me to try to figure out the allocation part. But I've been dealing with the liens, so I've been communicating with the lien holders over the past several months. And so that's where it's kind of bogged me down a little bit because I want to make sure that because they're government contractor liens. So I want to make sure I do everything the right way. I don't want to get in trouble in that respect.
How much time do you need, Mr. Melendez? What do you think?
Not more than 30 days, I would think, Judge.
Really?
If something happens, I think that's my idea, that I can just get everything done within 30 days.
Okay. We'll do 60 days reset on the status conference. So Mr. Dominguez, please cancel that special setting jury trial. Hopefully, sounds like you're doing a lot of work, Mr. Melendez.
It's a learning experience, but Ms. Smith is helping me a lot, so.
Well, thank you all for all the work you're doing, but we'll come back in 60 days. Hopefully we got things wrapped up.
Thank you, Judge.
Take care.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Take care, y'all are excused. Who's next, Tree?
Okay, Judge, bottom of page 4, 2381. It's cause number 2019 DCV 2381, James Curry versus JAI Dining Services, Inc. Announcement of council, please.
Oscar Mendes on behalf of the plaintiff.
Neil Stockbridge and Tyler Stewart on behalf of the defendant.
Good morning, gentlemen. We are here for a status conference, and I just see a bunch of jury trial settings after that. How are we doing?
We're moving along, Your Honor. One point of contention is that we're trying to figure out the paid and incurred on the medicals of my client. And mainly it's one bill with UMC that they've submitted their claim to his insurance carrier. His insurance carrier has not paid for whatever reason. Apparently it's Champ VA and they're backlogged about a year on fulfilling that. So it's a $20,000, I guess, difference. But I'm kind of hopeful if we resolve that, we can kind of move to resolving this claim. I think we'd ask for that reason if we could have the backup date to kind of get this issue resolved.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Stockbridge, Mr. Stewart, are you all on the same page there?
Yes, Your Honor, I've talked with Oscar a few times about this issue. It's still sort of unclear about the exact timeline that this will get resolved. I know there is a backlog, but apparently we've been trying to get ahead of this for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, if we want to hold off on the April setting and look towards this backup July setting, we would not oppose that.
Okay, let's go ahead and do that. So it doesn't look like there is another any kind of interim setting. We just have docket calls and jury trials. So we'll cancel April 6th, 7th, and 8th, but I will not have you all coming back until that docket call date. Do you all want a setting before that, maybe in June, just to see where we are? Yes, Mr. Stewart.
I think that would be wise.
Okay, so let's do June. We'll do June 8th at 10 a.m. Okay. We should have a very good idea at that point what the court scheduling is for those 2 dates. So good luck. Thank you for your efforts. Anything else?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay.
Not at this time.
Mr. Mendez, we're good?
Yes, thank you, Your
Thank
Honor.
you very much. Thank you, guys. Who's next?
Thank you.
Where's Mr. Mena? Is he here?
Mr. Mena hasn't appeared yet, Judge.
Okay. And it was at 10:30? Let's go ahead and call it.
Yes, ma'am. It's cause number 2020 DCV 0101, Melissa Sembrano and Rosa Medina versus Enrique Lujan. Announcement of council, please.
Chuy, do we have anyone in the waiting room? Anyone in the waiting room, period, I guess?
No, Judge, there isn't.
Okay, have we received any communications from Mr. Mena or from Melissa Zambrano, Rosa Medina, or Enrique Lujan?
No, Judge, I haven't.
Mr. Dominguez, by any chance, Mr. Braquin, either of you received any communications from Melissa Zambrano, Rosa Medina, Enrique Lujan, or Mr. Mena?
No, Judge, the court has not received any calls this morning or emails.
Me either, Judge.
Okay. All righty, then this is has been set multiple times, I think, for statuses dismissals. It's set for dismissal today. It'll be dismissed for want of prosecution. Thank you very much. Who's next, Chuy?
Judge, 0195 on page 6. The 11 o'clock. It's cause number 2022 DCV 0195, Juan Garcia Jr. versus EP Integrated Fire Systems and Concepts LLC et al. Announcement of council, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is James Fuel on behalf of the plaintiff, Juan Garcia.
Okay. And I have a notation here. No answer filed as of March 1st. And we're set for a scheduling status conference, Mr. Fuel.
Yes, Your Honor. This is a case that we had been in discussions with the defendant's lawyer, David Leffman, prior to filing suit. We weren't getting anywhere, so we filed suit. And one of the things that we asked for in our petition is an order to mediate the case because this is a membership dispute regarding an LLC. And membership agreement requires mediation before proceeding with a lawsuit. Because we weren't getting communication from Mr. Leffman, we filed the suit asking to mediate. Mr. Leffman agreed to accept service by email of the lawsuit back on February 4th. I'm sorry, Your Honor. He accepted service on February 4th and no answer has been filed. So I guess you could set us for a default hearing, even though that's not what I intended from the outset. So,
well, if that's what you're requesting, I mean, file it, request your hearing, we'll set it. Otherwise, my thought is we would just set it for a status in 30 days. If you file that, maybe that changes. If you file it though, anticipate that I am going to set it for a status in 30 days. If you file a default, anticipate you will get that same hearing date. But if you want it heard, and if you go that route, you need to file something and let us know. Maybe something changes, but we'll have a setting 30 days out. Okay.
okay, very good, Your Honor.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Who's next, Shui? Is that everybody?
Judge Chuy stepped away for 1 second.
Okay. Let's get off of YouTube if anybody has that control.